President Moon Jae-in flies out for an 8-day trip to 3 nations starting next week. One of the key agendas include the Group of 20 conference in Argentina. Shin Se-min provides a glimpse of what to expect from the upcoming diplomacy tour.
A trip around the globe. President Moon Jae-in will be leaving on an 8-day trip, the longest in terms of distance since he took office last year. The first 2 days, starting next Tuesday, November 27th, the president will be stopping over in Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic, where he will sit down with Prime Minister Andrej Babis. And from the 29th till the 1st of December, President Moon will be in Argentina for the highlight of the trip, the Group 20 conference. The topic this year, as the group marks the 10th anniversary of its founding, is building consensus for fair and sustainable development.
President Moon will introduce his administration's stance on global pending issues, as well as call for the support of the G20 member nations for the peace process on the Korean Peninsula and the economic opportunities that can come from it.
And that 3-day period in Buenos Aires is when the president will be shaking hands and sitting down with the world's movers and shakers. The presidential office, however, did not confirm whether or not President Moon will meet one-on-one on the sidelines with President Trump of the U.S., saying instead that such summit will be finalized in South America. The last stop of the president's trip, a state visit to New Zealand from the 2nd of December to the 4th, which will be the first by South Korean president in 9 years. There, he will discuss mutual issues between the two nations, as well as ways to create synergy for President Moon's new Southern policy and New Zealand's so-called Pacific reset. The presidential office says the trip next week will cap a busy year of diplomacy by the president in the Americas, Asia, Europe, and Oceania. Shin Se-min, Arirang News.